What's up, everybody? Baby Huey out here in Dallas, Texas, home of WrestleMania 38. And look at this from Monday Night Raw with Corey Graves. How's it going?
It's going fantastic. I don't know if I've ever been physically intimidated by an interviewer right now.
Hopefully, we met before New Orleans, Radio Row. I think that was like 4 years ago now.
Oh, okay. Well, the chances are I was probably still recovering from Bourbon Street the night before. So
me too. I was too. That was
the best of us.
Phenomenal. Which I'm actually excited. I've never been to Texas before, Dallas as well. So I'm just like, I'm excited to kind of take in all the festivities. Do you have any recommendations on what I should
There's
experience?
a cool little neighborhood called Deep Ellum. I haven't had a chance to check it out this trip yet, but last time we did WrestleMania here, I know Rollins and I went out and found a couple cool little breweries and little holes in the wall. I think there's a few music venues down that way.
Awesome.
I don't know Dallas well.
Okay.
But from what I've experienced, Deep Ellum was the place to hang.
So last Saturday, I was at an indie show. Bailey was there because we all know Bailey's from the Bay Area. So I was talking to her. She told me, go have tacos. And I was like, where should I get tacos? I mean, it's like such...
Is there a spot, a specific...
No, she didn't tell me a spot. Then she said, like, if I see you, we'll do tequila shots. I'm like, all right, I'm going to hold you to that.
But, there you go.
But yeah, I was wondering, have you had a chance to have any tacos out here? Any recommendations?
I have not, honestly.
Okay.
I landed, I guess, 2 nights ago, and I kind of hit the ground running. The first night, I had a steak here in the hotel. One of the best steaks I've ever had in my life.
Really? Okay.
So that was really cool. Had a few cocktails with a friend, and then yesterday was go, 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 and today more of the same. And, no rest for the weary.
So, how are you feeling this week? I mean, okay, so this will be the second WrestleMania post, start of the pandemic.
Right.
Last year, Tampa Bay, back from the WWE Universe. So for you, what's it mean to, be back doing your thing, commentating in front of the WWE Universe?
As much fun as everybody had last year, and as cool as it was to be at Raymond James Stadium and have this sort of return to normalcy, there wasn't a guy or a girl standing on stage when Vince came out and welcomed everybody back that didn't have a lump in their throat.
Absolutely.
It meant so much to all of us. But it was still not quite WrestleMania, especially considering we went back to no fans the following, the following week.
Because it went until July when you got to go back on the road.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is an opportunity to do WrestleMania right. This is how it's meant to be. The stupendous tagline is accurate because you're getting the full effect. We've got access back. Yeah. There are fans from all over the globe back, which not too many were able to travel last year with all the restrictions. So this, more so than any of the past few years, feels like WrestleMania should feel, and it's permeated everything. The energy is already palpable.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to that. For you, is there any particular match you looking forward to commentating on?
I'm really looking forward to Edge and AJ Styles.
Yes.
I think those two have the capability to paint a masterpiece on the grandest stage of them all. Two of the best in-ring competitors ever. I mean, obviously, Edge is in the Hall of Fame. AJ will no doubt be there when he so chooses to be. But I think, and it's weird how that match has somehow managed to fly under the radar a little bit.
Yes, exactly.
It's such a stacked weekend that that match wouldn't be out of place in the main event of WrestleMania in any given year.
It's probably going to match of the weekend. I think a lot of people are predicting.
I think, and maybe I'm setting some pretty high bars here, but here's my bold prediction for the weekend.
Okay.
WrestleMania 3 is remembered for Hulk Hogan body slamming Andre the Giant, but the wrestling fans remember Ricky Steamboat, Randy Savage.
Yes, absolutely.
If there has ever been a scenario where the biggest WrestleMania match of all time is going down, we've got Brock and Roman Sunday night, but if there's a match that can steal the weekend that will live on for years, it might be Edge and AJ Styles. There's a bold prediction for you.
Yes, absolutely. So everyone pay attention to that. Also, congrats, I guess, are in order for, it was reported that you're physically able to perform back in the ring. With that being said, do you have an idea you want to go back in the ring, or you just still want to do commentary only?
I'm focused on commentary.
Okay.
It took me a few years to come to terms with this role, but I put in so much work mentally.
Yes.
Realizing, okay, hey, so one dream was taken away, but you've got a new lease on life. If you'd asked me this a few years back, I probably would have had a slightly different answer. But I'm really confident and comfortable in the role that I'm in. That said, I went and got medically cleared because you can't ever take the wrestler out of your heart.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So if the circumstances arise that it is beneficial to the show or it's a fun opportunity, then I'm definitely game to do it. I'm not actively pursuing anything.
Okay.
If it falls in my lap, 6 months, 8 mons down the road, heck, Monday, who knows? I'm ready, and I'm medically cleared to do so, and I'm in the process of sort of getting back in better shape.
Okay.
But I need to get in wedding shape, not ring shape.
Well, yeah, nice segue right there. I love that. So let's talk
I
about
do this for a living.
I know, exactly. So, we see on TV, you embrace, your fiance Carmella whenever she's in a match. You guys got the reality show. How's that been like kind of opening up your life for everyone to see?
It's interesting. I've never been one to even entertain the thought of being with somebody in the same business.
Yeah.
And I always was like, that's crazy. I need an off switch. But it's found out she is my best friend on so many different levels because nobody can relate to how this place operates until you've been in it and been in it for a while. And it's not just the honeymoon phase is over. And you realize the grind and the ups and the downs. And she's been so important to me, helping me deal with everything in my life, and whether it be a professional frustration or getting my personal life back on track, she's been invaluable to me. So when the opportunity to do the show came about, it was a happy accident, honestly. We said, you know what, let's give it a shot. Let's see how it goes. Let's see what happens. It was never a goal to begin with. So the fact that it even happened, we were like, oh, this is cool. We'll see where it goes. And from the feedback that we've gotten, everything's been really, really positive. So I can't say for sure what the next step is, but I have a very good feeling that what you've seen so far isn't the last.
And I really love hearing you say how much you love like commentary and embracing that. I do think that's such an important aspect of this business as far as you telling the story and really paint a picture for us fans at home. So for you, do you like at any point, like how do you prepare or study? Do you like watching like old matches and commentators in the past and kind of take inspiration for them? How do you prepare for it?
I think inherently I've had a little bit of Jesse Ventura and Bobby Heenan in me because that's what I grew up watching. That's what I grew up loving with my dad. I remember no one could make my dad laugh like Bobby Heenan or Jesse Ventura. So I think there's like some subconscious thing in my brain that makes me the way I am when I'm like, oh, that's funny to me because that used to make my dad laugh. As far as preparation now, I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this. I do next to zero preparation because the shows are live and everything is so fluid and changing constantly. That I need to be able to react. And I do a little bit more preparation now on Raw because Jimmy Smith's still trying to find his feet. He's coming along very nicely, but there's an acclimation period. You can't, no matter how talented you are as a broadcaster, there aren't too many people who can come and sit down in that chair, particularly the middle chair, the Michael Cole seat, and succeed right out of the gate. So Byron and I have been very, very active in trying to help acclimate him to the situation. So I completely forgot. I lost my train of thought.
But I love, with that being said, though, how you prepare. I love that you take influences from like Jesse Ventura, Bobby the Brain.
So back to the zero preparation. I prepare a little bit more now because I do have a little more traffic than I ordinarily would. So I kind of just need to make sure those bases are covered. But as far as what I say during the match, I could probably count on one hand the amount of lines that have lived on in video packages. That's how I gauge everything. If they played the video package, the recap package, and that line's in there, it was a good line.
Thank you for saying that. That's something I think about as well, as far as, being a wrestler, superstar, in and out of the ring, your time is limited and whatnot. But being a commentator, your voice can live on forever. And that's something, I know a lot of people want to see you back in the ring, but what I love about you is commentary. Like I said, things you do on the mic, like I said, will be lived on forever. And it's really cool. It seems like you have that same aspect of it, or mentally.
I just think that's how I think about things. And it's just one of those things. I know the business inside and out. This has genuinely been my life since I was 14 years old. It was the first time I stepped into a wrestling ring. So I've got this wealth of knowledge, and it's just a matter of trying to do justice by the guys and girls inside the ring and give them something, whether it be a moment. And it's not always an epic, live on forever WrestleMania style moment. Sometimes it's just something funny, but you need that. You need a soundtrack. Watching wrestling without commentary, especially nowadays with as much stuff as happening, is very tricky. But I try to not make the focus myself. It happens from time to time. Ultimately, I have an ego. I was a wrestler. I wanted to be famous. I wanted to be champion one day. But so my goal now is just to sort of enhance and provide the color for the pictures being painted by the guys and girls in the ring.
And also just taking digs at Byron Saxton. He deserves it.
The worst. The dirt worst.
Last thing I do want to ask you, we were talking off the air. We have a mutual friend, Derek, who's best friends with Lars Fredrickson of Rancid fame. I know, I talked to Derek whenever WWE comes to town. Lars likes to come. Experience hanging out with Lars.
I have a great photo from when WrestleMania was in Santa Clara a few years back. I did the ticket on sale party.
Yeah.
And I have a photo. It's in my house. It's hanging on the wall. It was blown up, of myself, Hulk Hogan, and Lars Fredrickson. And I said, if you had told me that this would ever happen as a kid growing up, that I would either meet either of them, let alone have a photo with them simultaneously at WrestleMania, it was like total nerd brain explosion. I was like, my wrestling hero and my rock and roll heroes it's all converged, and it's so weird how many moments we get to have like that. And it's very important to me once in a blue moon to take a step back and realize and recognize, I could text Lars right now about some nonsense, but it's also like I don't want to abuse that. Like that I looked up to that dude for a while, you know what I mean? And he's been nothing but cool to me. So great. If you need something, I'm here. I'm your dude. But I don't want to all of a sudden act like, oh, hey, we're best friends now.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Like with my cell phone, like my contacts, there's just people in there, but I don't bug them that often.
I look at it this way. I have, a cell phone like everybody else on earth. And there are people that I only hear from about every 6 months or whenever WWE comes to town. Hey, hope all's well. Wondering if you can give me some. I go, you know what?
Oh, my God.
Were you worried if I was well 3 weeks ago? Or will you be worried about me when the trucks are packed and we're rolling down the road? No, quit asking me. I'll offer them if I want to give them to you.
Oh, my God. I totally relate. So at the radio station I work at, every big concert, people hit me up. Hey, can you get me tickets for this show? I'm like, I could barely get tickets myself. When Green Day, my favorite band, plays, I buy my tickets for that. I'm lucky if I get some thrown my way. But I know exactly what you're saying. But no, with Lars, though, it's awesome that he's such a big wrestling fan. I see him at indie shows all the time in the Bay Area. So it's cool.
So cool to me, just the crossover between the rock and roll. Because I guess the lifestyles aren't that dissimilar.
Yeah.
We're all road dogs. We're all just, living day to day, trying to make it to the next town and get by doing what we love the most. But I've made so many really, really cool friends over the years, from Lars to Nick from Tiger Armies, because all these bands that I grew up buying their CDs and just hoping and paying for their tickets.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, these guys are cool. I have their phone numbers. I'm still a little bit of a geek when it comes to that.
Absolutely. Well, Corey, listen, I know you got a busy day doing press. You got Hall of Fame hosting duties. How do you prepare for that? Like, what can you expect?
Well, it's the dead man's year, man.
Yeah.
But also, it's funny how sneakily heavy this class got in a short order. It was Undertaker, and everyone kind of went, that's good enough. Like, let the Undertaker have his own.
Vince is going to be inducting him.
Right.
Yeah.
Vince is going to induct Undertaker. There it is. It's sold right there.
Oh, absolutely.
But, by the way,
in Texas,
the
by the way.
Steiner brothers are getting inducted. One of the baddest tag teams of all time.
Yes.
I cannot wait to hear what they have to say.
With a hot mic.
Anytime Scott Steiner's got a hot mic, you're in for something exciting.
Yeah.
And Vader. I got to be, I know Vader's son Jesse very, very well. We were tag team champions in FCW.
Yep.
So he's been a very, very good friend of mine for years, and I was always a massive Vader fan. Got to know him a little bit when he would come around when Jesse was still with us.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of moments. And Sharmell.
Yeah.
I talk to people all the time about how, to me, there are very few people on earth that I respect as much as Booker T.
Yeah.
Booker's helped me from a commentary perspective, just a good man.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ask Booker the most important person in his life, it's his queen, Sharmell. And I got to catch up with them briefly, and they've always both been incredible to me. I'm sure there's a clip floating around somewhere of me carrying them to the ring many, many moons back on SmackDown. I think the fist was still at the top of the ramp when King Booker and Queen Sharmell were there. So I think the whole night's going to be a lot of fun.
And the Warrior Ward, Shad Gaspar.
And Shad. Here's one for you. This is the first time I've heard about this today. We were doing rehearsals last night, and I got to meet Shad's family. And I knew Shad, and we weren't particularly close, but I knew Shad, and he was always really, really cool to me. Last time WrestleMania was normal. We ran into each other at Wale Mania. Just always had a big smile on his face, and just a hell of a human being. And I got to meet his son and his wife yesterday, which was pretty heavy, you know what I mean? So I'm just glad. I hope it helps everybody, remember and heal and recognize that there's more to life than just wrestling, you know, and that's what the award's all about.
And he was a hero as well.
Absolutely.
So, wow. So, looking forward to everything this weekend. SmackDown tonight, Hall of Fame live on Peacock afterwards, WrestleMania on Peacock, Raw after Mania.
And whatever's left of me will be on a plane Tuesday, and they'll have to drag me to the altar on Thursday.
Oh, is it next week?
Oh, it's Thursday.
Oh my God.
Talk about no rest for the weary.
Oh my God, I had no idea.
I'm putting all the heat on Carmella because this was 100% her plan. But the easiest time to get 2 weeks off was right after WrestleMania. So we're rolling from the biggest professional week of our year to one of the biggest life events one can have.
What's
back to back?
Honeymoon.
We're going to Hawaii after that.
Nice.
So
you're not gonna be on Raw in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'll be there the night after Mania.
After Mania,
and then 2 weeks.
Okay.
Well, that's the plan until I get a phone call when I'm in Maui, lounging on the beach, saying,
"Where are you?
I need you, pal."
Oh my God, Corey, listen, thank you so much.
Yeah, my
awesome
pleasure,
catching up with you. And so next time Raw comes to the Bay Area, I would love to piggyback with you and Derek and Lars.
Oh my God, definitely.
Derek, you hear that?
And I need to bring a wheelbarrow.
Oh yeah,
It's gonna be one of those kind of nights.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, and good luck this weekend.
Appreciate it.